You're watching Soccer Night in Detroit.
Welcome. It's me, Hannah Crum, with two legends.
Okay, me, Steve.
And Mad Cat.
And Mad Cat.
This guy right here. Every time you score, he has to play this song for you every time, every single time.
David, he appears. I believe in Derek.
Let's go.
All right. Welcome back to another fun-filled edition of The Musings. Sad to say, it's hard to, do any soccer nights when you don't have any soccer going on or have any home games going on. So it's kind of hard to do that. So at least we got The Musings to keep us through. Back at it again, February 7th at City Clubhouse against the Louisville Triumph.
Yes, it's our crossover game. And hello once again from Hamtramck, Michigan. No keyword background, just Hamtramck. What do you expect? But yeah.
Needless to say, Saturday, though, Detroit City's women were on the road in a game in which you could see it via pay-per-view down in Columbus. Yeah, down in Columbus, they took on the Columbus Eagles at trying to think of the place at this Resolute Athletic Complex down in Columbus. Big old domination by Detroit City's women.
You're right, and it was domination near the end. It was close first quarter, 2-2. LA Torrance scored 2 goals to counteract Sam Buck, who played for Columbus. She had 2 goals. It was a close one with Columbus holding a 3-2 lead, but City got some goals from Megan Verrier and Jennifer Pagode, her first of the season, and it was 4-3. It was close, and it was still close. Megan Varian scored a hattie. That's her 8th of the year. Sam Buck also got a hat trick. Yes. Also had a hat trick, and Ashley Golan had a goal. It was 6-5. It was getting close until quarter 4 because they slammed the brakes. Zoe Greenhag, the game winner for the last game, she scored her 4th. Mackenzie Rubber also scored her 4th. Sam Buck got her 4th goal to make it 8-6, and that's close they got. Friend of the show, Hannah Crum, scored on a penalty kick.
And shout out to Roger Ferregies for providing this highlight. The only highlight we can get, obviously, because we couldn't afford the stream.
No, I couldn't afford a stream. I went to Derby on Saturday. I follow along and all that. And then Ellen Torres scored her 4th of the year. And all she wrote, Detroit City won 10-6. Very close game. Very competitive game. Like I said, this year the girls got a lot of competition. FC Berlin, we mentioned that on our last soccer night at the clubhouse. And Alison Lapointe, she have 11 saves. So we are now, I think, 3-1-0. 3-1 being second place, And incidentally, I was just looking at the standing from our perspective. And on Monday morning, I went on to the MASL-W website. And then I saw something weird. It only listed 3 teams in the Southwest Conference. Us, FC Berlin, and the Columbus Eagles. No FC Indiana. And I double-checked the teams of all the teams listed. Same thing. Because if I remember correctly, the first game they were supposed to place on Louisville, they said they had car trouble, unable to travel from Indiana to Louisville, which is not that far. Then they were supposed to play FC Berlin on the road, and then they were ordered a 1-0 forfeit loss, and they said, wait a minute. Do you think the team was in trouble? Do you think they were dropped? I looked social media. There was no mention until today because the MASL-W issued a statement. Mad Cat, you got it.
Breaking news. Major Arena Soccer League women officials have announced that Indiana United has been permanently expelled from the league effective immediately for failure to comply with league bylaws. It is unfortunate that an organization chose to simplify or simply disrespect the hard work and dedication that 23 other teams are putting forth on a daily basis. But as a league, we will not tolerate teams that choose to be insolent about their commitments. That said, it's also critical going forward that as a league, we pledge to more thoroughly investigate and vet any clubs that want to be part of the MASL family. That's what Commissioner Chris Economides, I think that's how I said. I mean, that sounds about right. If I mispronounce his last name, I apologize. But that's basically, they ain't showing up. They ain't playing no more.
You're right. And from the sound of it, they're not very happy. You came to the league to play in the league. This is not the old ABA 2000, which
This is not
had a bunch of
PASL.
flash in the pan thing. I remember because I went to a couple of the Detroit Dog games. And unfortunately, honestly, why did they invent this team? Did they have any players? Was that a legitimate team? It's also, I don't know, a training ground or something like that. But honestly, what the hell? What the hell? You disrespected us because we were in your league. You disrespected Louisville, who made an Instagram post apologizing, and they said they wish we could face off them. And you also disrespected FC Berlin, which, by the way, both teams got a forfeit victory. And their credit, FC Berlin got credit for 5 games with 4 games being played. Like, what the hell?
Basically, this is the fact that, I mean, and I mentioned PASL because sounds like something that the PASL would have happened had that league still be in existence. MASL is trying to how do I say it, legitimize the sport. And of course, obviously, the stragglers on from like the old MISL days, like the San Diego Sockers, Kansas City Comets, whatnot.
They're still operating under the MASL banner. I saw a couple of games this weekend, including one team that decided to do a temporary rebrand at the Utica Ragolis. Long story. But that is legitimate with the men's team because there are a lot of professionals there. The women's is sort of mirror the old NPSL days and the early days of Detroit CFC, and they're trying to legitimize women's soccer. There are a lot of great teams, us included, and Scarborough is included. FC Berlin, excuse me, and Louisville. We're trying to do our part to have competitive soccer. One team who didn't feel either a team or it make me angry. It make you angry. It make everybody angry.
And remember, I keep saying about ducks in a row, having ducks in a row, making sure that you got everything there for you to proceed, to function as a franchise. Obviously, FC Indiana United didn't have that, and they were in the league last year with us, and things seem to be going well. I think did they have? I don't know if I remember correctly if they had issues too last year trying to field lineups there, because I remember a couple times that we had to play them, and those were not pretty outings.
No, and you're right. Remember, we had the same problem. One team in our league dropped out, and then we played. I remember 3 in a row against Iowa, 3 in a row against Indiana, 4 in a row against Kalamazoo. It's not a good look if you're playing consecutive teams in a row.
Yeah, it isn't a good look, and the league is definitely trying to shy away from that. They want legitimate clubs in the league. They want clubs that have a pulse. I'll bluntly say that.
Okay.
They want clubs that have a commitment to this league, and obviously Indiana United is not fulfilling to their commitments. So you hate to do it in mid-season, but here we are.
And now here's the bigger question. Do you think they're going to rate those forfeit victory against Louisville and FC Berlin schedule road opponents from the crossover league, or do we have to play an extra team with either?
Well, right now, from what it looks like, from the statement that you showed me, they're looking. The regular season runs through March, and the playoffs are set for the 20th through the 22nd. Right now, as far as it says here, previously scheduled Indiana home games will be declared forfeits for the visiting team.
That means we get an extra free victory, right?
Do we get an extra 3 points? Yes.
All right.
For previously scheduled away games for the United, the league is working with teams to reschedule to ensure a full home slate of games for those clubs affected. And of course, we were supposed to play a couple games with them ourselves.
Yeah, we have
we were supposed to do a road match and then a
with
home
Indiana, and now we're gonna wait see if we have a new opponent. Could be
Right.
Columbus, could be FC Brand, could be another crossover team, not Louisville or the other team that we're gonna play. So
I mean, possibly, I don't know if Cincinnati was on. They'll have to look at the common opponents of they'll have to look at the opponents of FC Berlin to see where that'll fall. I mean, could it be another matchup with Youngstown? Could it be another match? Could it be? I mean, within FC Berlin, Youngstown, whatever. Could it be with that? Could it be another crossover? Could it possibly? Was Cincinnati part of that?
I forgot about the Youngstown Nighthawks. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Could it be Cincinnati? Could we have another match? Could we have a home match with Cincinnati or something like that? A crossover from the other division. It remains to be seen what happens. So stay tuned. We might have a game between now and February 7th.
And by the way, don't forget the next home game will be February 7th against Louisville. We'll be there. We're hoping to give them their first.
That would be. That's going to be a fun night. It always is at City.
I love to follow the soccer, especially the last game. By the way, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my God, that was probably one of the better. That was probably one of the best games in I've seen in indoor soccer. I mean, great back and forth between both squads.
I know. I can't wait. Can I move on to Detroit City's Other League in the men's side and the women's side, the USL playoffs? And holy crap, there was some signings, literally, both players and coaches. And I want to begin with Sean Schubert, because I was hoping when he announced he was not going to return to the defending champion Pittsburgh Riverhounds, I said, there may be a chance. There may be a chance we sign him. Trying to replace Stephen Carroll.
So you're saying there was a chance?
There was a chance. Unfortunately, to quote Crowded House, hey now, that dream is over. Where did he go to?
He ended up going to, according to reports from John Morsey, USL Tactics, he is heading towards Charleston to join the
Yeah, because they have a lot of faces to replace after MD Myers left for Tampa Bay.
Don't cry for me, Charleston Battery. I think they're going to be fine.
They're going to be fine, I know. But hey, they got a great defensive player, I must say. We saw that during the playoffs. We saw that during our playoff game against Pittsburgh. They have a great player, and they're lucky to have him. You know what I mean?
I don't think you can say lucky to have him. I mean, you look at the pedigree over at Charleston. Obviously, Ben Pierman being the coach, the general manager, doing things well over there as well. So, I mean, it's, Charleston's one of the top teams in the league for a reason.
I know. And then, remember a couple of weeks ago when we in my excitement, your excitement, when we yelled Maxey's back with the return of Maxey Rodriguez to our club this year? Well, guess what? Similar action in Pittsburgh. Guess who's back there?
Albert Dequa has signed with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, returning to the Riverhounds after 2 years at Rhode Island FC. One of those years helping them to the USL Championship final. They went to the USL or the Eastern Conference final last year before falling to the Riverhounds at Highmark Stadium. And now Albert Dequa makes his return to Highmark Stadium.
I know, considering the year when he left, he was the Golden Boot runner in 2023. 20 goals. A great season for him. But ever since he was in Rhode Island, he scored 19 goals in all competitions. He's been moved up, and he just came. Oh, my God. Everybody's happy to have him back in Pittsburgh, literally.
Oh yeah, that big boost to that Pittsburgh. I mean, huge losses. Obviously, losing Eric Dick and Sean Suber in that lineup.
Augustine Williams.
Robbie Mertz coming back is going to be a big help to them. Pittsburgh.
So they can still be a contender, right?
I think they can be.
Okay.
And the way Rob Vincent has had run things at the end of the year. I mean, yeah, maybe you could say he used a little bit of the tactics that Bob Lilly would, but players responded more to Vincent than they did Lilly.
I see.
I mean,
so that could be a good thing. Could be a contender. Who knows?
Could be a bad thing could be the bad thing for the rest of the USL.
I know, including us. I know we're their natural rivals from the Lake area. And let's go to coaches. 2 teams. One of them have a new coach, and one of them, oh my, it was an unexpected opening. It was filled up. First, Loudoun United. They have their head coach.
Yeah, I don't have him offhand here.
I have the name right here, Anthony Limbrick.
Yeah, so he replaces Ryan Ryan Martin, who ended up leaving Loudoun United and ended up taking the job over in Oakland to run that club.
Anthony Limbrick, by his coaching resume, Grimsby Town, Woking FC, and Hartford.
Grimsby Town. You mean the same Grimsby Town that beat Manchester United in the
Yes, they
Caribbean
did.
Cup?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yeah, considering that a little tease, a lot of the Premier League team got upset over the weekend. We'll save that for later.
Yeah, that's funny though. I mean, good coaching sounds like a good coaching pedigree to me.
Yes, very good. As Loudoun is trying to back up an amazing season last year, but could they back it up? We'll see. Also,
big news coming out of Birmingham.
Birmingham. This was a surprise.
A sort of a surprise. Mark Briggs decided that he's going to take a assistant's job with the I can't remember the name of the former coach of the New Mexico United, but he is the coach at FC Dallas. So he's taking an assistant's job with FC Dallas.
Yes, he is taking his knowledge to FC Dallas. Wow.
Yep, so he's joining MLS. And Mark Briggs, of course, you know his pedigree. He did well with the Sacramento Republic. Obviously, the mentor to one Danny Dicchio. He did a tremendous job over there. And, he went to Birmingham last year and figured that, with all the stars that came down to Protective Stadium last year, and you figured that this team would be a strong contender for the East, and it didn't turn out that way. They ended up with the, shall we say, wooden spoon.
Yeah. I forgot the name of the coach from Miami and Las Vegas, but yeah, the wooden spoon.
Yeah, the Notarino wooden spoon.
Yes, I was kind of surprised. I was hoping he would be there at the start of the year, get a better fresh start after coming in mid-season after a disastrous season. But, oh my, nothing but best luck him in that other league, literally. But they did fill up the position, and guess what? It was the CEO of Birmingham United, James Heaps.
Well, I mean, and Birmingham has not been getting the players either in the off season, and it seems like it might be back down to square one again for the Legion.
Right. And by the way, I know I'm not going to say, what do a CEO know about coaching? Well, he have coached before in MLS. He was a coach for 7 years in the New England Revolution, was the 2014 Eastern Conference champion, went to the MLS final on that year. He also was a U.S. Open Cup finalist for New England. So, and he was also a player too.
Sounds like a good coaching resume there. Dave Leahy, I mean, player, coach, with University Liggett, coached the women's team and all that. And he happens to be one of the 5 owners of Detroit City SC.
I
The
know.
5 principal owners.
I know.
So I mean, it's not uncommon. And what I'm getting at is it's not uncommon. It really isn't. It's happened here. As far
If you coach a football team and if you're working behind the scenes as your general manager said, hey, we have nobody. Can you coach it? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's it goes to show what how close knit the organization is. I mean, when you think about it in layman's terms. But yeah, it's just the fact, Birmingham has had a rough off season. You lose they've had a rough, let's just say, the promise of last year, at the beginning of last season, had went unfulfilled. And this was an organization. This is an organization that it has had has had a whirlwind of a year. You had all these high expectations for them, and possibly, a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference, and then next thing you know, you get the worst record in all of USL.
Oh,
you have a coaching change. Early part of the season, and they just never recovered.
No. Oh, brother.
Like I said, probably one of the highlights. Though I think did they end up beating us here at Keyworth?
Keyworth Stadium, yeah. Remember the accidental own goal? I know.
Yep. So that was one of the highlights that that they had for the year, and not many highlights for them, but clearly a team that's trying to get back on the rebound.
I know. Well, we wish them luck, considering the season is almost 6 weeks away.
Yeah, a few weeks away. Yeah, we're getting close here.
Well, that's the reason why I call the women's indoor season the on-ramp to our last season at Keyworth. The Keyworth farewell, literally.
Yes. Yep. And we heard some negotiations are still going on as far as the.
What's going on with the USL labor talk? They had a negotiation session.
They have a couple sessions going on this week. No word as of yet. Obviously, no word from either side as of yet, as far as how those are going, and no other signs either. I mean, no signal from the league of whether they're going to lock the players out, which I don't really think they can afford to. And another thing, I think the players, haven't set a date for striking either, which is something that they can't afford to do.
Oh, brother.
I think right now you're looking at a leverage point here.
Okay.
In my honest opinion, I think you're looking at a leverage point here because the players, they don't have a strike fund.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have anything like that to fall back on where they can, survive for a couple weeks on that. USL, on the other hand, I think they have the upper hand here as far as that goes, is they could say, hey, you know what? Certain clubs, we can still operate without you. We'll just get players from other clubs.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, so right now it looks like that this thing could continue. The negotiations can continue. We can still remain at status quo for the time being, despite all the talk that's being, handed down by, the players union, which is mostly all the talk. The owners haven't really said much on the USL side.
Okay.
So there's basically been no, counteraction to what what the union wants, as far as what their demands are, and they haven't countered back with anything on the other side. Although we've heard, with some, through some sources that negotiations are going well, that there's just a few teams that are not on board with what the players want.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple off air, and some of them are surprising, including Loudon, who remember last year.
Like I said, we can't really name the teams because the USL
Oh,
has
my
not
bad.
the USL has not publicly said, which teams were the ones, and of course they have the right to say that.
Okay,
These are all behind closed door negotiations that are going on right now.
I know.
So, but it'll still go on. It doesn't look like we're going to be looking at a work stoppage anytime soon, from what I understand. So,
No, because both sides can't afford a work stoppage, even with the players with no strike fund like the other major pro sports leagues. So
exactly, and this is pretty much
yeah,
a new union here, and you're talking a second division league as well. I mean, yes, obviously there's first division aspirations that are going on by the league office. However, right now, this is a second division league. And I mean, we've seen it in minor league sports. For example, the ECHL had a work stoppage of a couple days because they couldn't. That's what
ECHL,
I said.
correction.
ECHL. They had
And look
a
at
work
and look
stoppage.
at the WNBA. They're in a negotiation play. They could strike at any time during next season. Who knows? It just
And of course, the difference is between the ECHL and WNBA, they have like good backing as far as their owners are concerned. A lot of them are affiliated, especially the WNBA, with most of those teams being backed by those NBA squads. A lot of ECHL teams are affiliates of NHL squads, so there's a little bit of a
yes,
good
right.
backing. There's a little bit of a good
Playing
backing.
Toledo Walleye, which is their affiliate, AA affiliate for the Red Wings. Yes.
Correctly, and not to mention, like I said, the USL, it's 25 independent clubs
Yes.
is what it is. 25 independent clubs. They're not affiliated with anything. The affiliation went away. If you remember, a few years back when when the MLS two teams were in the USL, that's gone away. Now it's
Yeah.
25 independent clubs.
Yes.
So it's a different animal than what it was when the first CBA came out in 2021.
Yes, I remember. And I
So
know.
so
Let's hope they work it out.
we're hoping
Let's
so
hope they
too.
work
And
out.
I'm not, from what it sounds like, we're not looking towards the work stoppage. But you know what? Things can change day by day. So we're hoping everything gets worked out. And as you know, and it's almost to that time. Training or preseason training is
Yeah.
coming up real soon.
I know, and we'll be on it like a hawk, including all those closed session games, which we wouldn't know what's going on, but they're closed session.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully we get a preseason. Hopefully we get a preseason game in Brighton again. That was fun last year.
I know. Speaking of which, let's talk about actual soccer because, like I said, last week was the break for the Premier League because of the FA Cup, and holy cow!
Yeah, it was
what
a break
the hell was
yes, there was
happening?
soccer going on.
It was upset city with the Premier team, especially the biggest one, the biggest upset in almost a century.
109 years.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. Shout
Tier
out Macclesfield FC.
2, Crystal Palace, who's the defending champion, their first winner. Well, let me quote Howard Freakle. This year, there will be a new champion of England.
Yeah, and you know what the irony of this is?
What is the irony?
The last time this happened, Crystal Palace was the team.
Yes, and they knocked off the champion from 1908, 1909, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Not to be confused with Wolverhampton Wolves.
Oh, it's the
Yeah,
same thing. Yeah, Wolverhampton. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
unfreaking believable. And it happened at their McAfee own home field. This club is barely 5 years old. It's a Phoenix club of a team, McAfee Town, which folded after debts and all that. And they pulled off only 117 places below Crystal Palace. Unbelievable. And these
Yeah,
guys,
and for a team that's I mean, this is a team that's has had its problems this year. I mean, they're still in the mix, as far as in the Premier League at this point. But it's just it's a hard pill to swallow for Palace fans, and of course they're competing in Europe right now as well. I mean, obviously, dropped down to the Conference League because of ownership issues or whatever it
I
was.
know.
But
But that's
but
unbelievable because you have
that's
to
a hard
remember,
pill to swallow right there.
you have to understand, in a non-league team, these guys have regular day jobs, just like our boys back in the NPSL days. You know what I mean? Remember Nate Steinwacher? He played soccer, and Monday, Friday, he's a accountant. You know what I mean?
And what was it? The PE teacher gets greeted with with an ovation in his classroom. The coach.
Yes, I remember. I saw that clip, and yeah, he got a standing ovation. He's the PE teacher. He played for McAfee, and he said, "You did something you never saw. No PE teacher did." Holy shit! Beating the giant 6-7 below Premier League. They're in the, I don't know, the Northern National League North is just like holy cow.
And here's the other thing too. Guess who guess who they ended up getting the draw? They drew at
And our
home, and they get
and our
Brentford in the next round.
oh my, the bees.
Yes. So I mean, they get another Premier League team in the next round, and another one at home. So
Yeah,
and then
that's gonna be
Brentford's
a hot ticket, just like the old days at Cat Tack.
yeah. I would best of luck to them. All I can say, and it goes down. It's probably one of the greatest up. In fact, they've listed it as the greatest upset in the history of the FA Cup.
I
And there's been
know.
some notable upsets over the years.
I know. Speaking of which, there was another upset. League One, Premier League, Nottingham Forest beat the made-for-TV reality team. Excuse me, stop beat. They lost to the made-for-TV reality team Wrexham 3-3. It was a draw, but they went for the 30 minutes of extras, and they lost on PKs 4-3.
That wasn't a very entertaining game, to be honest. Wrexham was up 2-0. Then Forest came back with two of their own to tie things up. Wrexham would go back into the lead, and then Nottingham would tie it up in stoppage time. The two teams played in extra time. No score on either side, so they go to penalty kicks there. But the thing is with this one, I don't see it as an upset.
Well, why so?
Because the fact that Nottingham Forest right now, if you look at the Premier League table, is sitting in 17th place.
Oh my.
Yeah, much in the way of, shall we say, a certain club that we know and love. Two clubs from last year that were sitting in the bottom reaches of the Premier League and ended up meeting each other in a Europa League final. So yeah, right now Forest is up 7 points on West Ham. I wouldn't say it's much of a relegation battle right now, but and Wrexham right now, they're aren't they a point away from being in a championship playoff?
Yes, they're a point away being in the championship playoff. Yes, that's where you get a golden ticket or a trophy, by the way. They
Yeah,
only don't give gold.
but the thing is though, Wrexham's progression for the last 3-4 years has been, from jumping from league to league to league, and they're trying to make it a fourth year in a row, and make the progression into the Premier League. So that's that's something to be said there. Where Nottingham Forest, yeah, they made the jump back into the Premier League a few years back. Now they're playing some European football. There's been all kinds of trouble with Forest this year, though.
Yeah, I know, including that short-lived coaching stint that lasted 6 weeks, and he got fired after one of the Premier League
First it was
games.
Nuno, and then it was Ange Postecoglou, and now Sean Dyche is on, at the helm there at Nottingham Forest, trying to steer the ship and keep them in the league.
Not to go down the toilet, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're right. The relegation battle sponsored by the Red Devil Plumbing Company, where you still see that smiling devil face unless you're in Wolverhampton, where the devils now turn into a serious frown.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it's been a tough season for Nottingham Forest, and like I said about Wrexham, their progression over the years and all that. So I didn't really see that one as an upset, to be honest with you.
Speaking of which, the top tier of the Premier League, Man U, who we have harped on because after the recent coaching cage, also clunked out in the third round to Brighton 2-1.
And yeah, another example of what, and they were without players. I believe Bruno Fernandes was still out with an injury. I believe it was in that match. They've been, of course, we've echoed this sentiment, but right now for a club that just lost their manager or was he a manager or a coach?
Same thing.
See, managers get the players to help them win, and if you're not getting the players, well, yeah.
I know, and also they did announce a caretaker manager for the rest of the season. This is the rest of the season that they do a sausage worldwide search for their new manager. They're 7 or 8, or I lost count.
Yeah, it was announced yesterday. Michael Carrick is now the going to be taking over the helm. He'll be his first match.
Yeah.
Manchester Derby on Saturday.
Man City.
Yep.
Yeah, that will be a fun one.
Guess what his second match is?
Who?
Arsenal.
Oh shoot! Top of the table.
The first 2 matches are with the two top seeds in the Premier League right now.
Oh my God! I don't know what he just signed up to. Oh my!
Well, one of the names that was mentioned in the Ruben Amorim replacement talk was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he did not get named. Obviously, he did not get named as the caretaker manager for the time being. It does sound like he is still interested in getting the permanent job, though.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, his name's in the running. Obviously, the heavy hitters are going to be still in play as well. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Obviously, you're going to hear names like Thomas Tuchel and Mauricio Pochettino and all that. You're going to hear those names, float about because it is Man United. But
I know.
I
heard a joke yesterday. Some of the most wanted managers are probably changing their number, saying, "Man, oh my."
They might be changing their number because there's another famous job now that is open.
And who is that?
Xabi Alonso mutually agreed to leave Real Madrid.
Oh my.
Yeah. And a lot of it stems from, the form is okay. I think they're second right now in the La Liga. They're second right
Yeah.
now behind Barcelona. They just lost to Barcelona in the Super Cup or whatever it is in Saudi Arabia. Now, from what I understand, there's been falling out between players, players and the coach over there. Obviously, Vinny Jr. has been, at the forefront at those, these this player coach rift or whatever it is, and Mbappe as well. And and it looks like that kind of reached its boiling point on Sunday because
Uh-huh.
instead of forming a guard of honor to honor the Supercopa or whatever it is for Spain or whatever it is,
Okay.
the league or the country trophy, not the league trophy or whatever it is. They were Alonso wanted them to form a guard of honor to honor them, and Mbappe was like, "No, we're going to the locker room."
Oh my.
So
If you
I don't know if it has to do, there's stories out there where where it could have been, there's stories out there how that went down and all that stuff. We don't know what is true, what is factually correct or not, but that was one of the stories that I heard from that.
Yeah, you probably remember this classic line: when you lose the locker room, you're in trouble.
Yes, and apparently, when you lose the front office as well, because I believe Florentino, the director over there, was not happy with Alonso as well.
Oh my.
So, and we've heard rumors about Xabi Alonso possibly leaving that club, and of course, a lot of it had to do with possibly going to Liverpool to replace Arne Slot when Slot and Liverpool were having their problems earlier in the season. Uh, but that's a big name that's going to be out there. I mean, with some potential openings coming up.
Oh my.
Towards
If
the
you
end of
think
the
the
year.
NFL opening window was weird, this is going to be weird for the European window.
International soccer, has its share of fun as well.
I
And
know.
some of these happened during the during in season itself.
I know. Kind of
So,
weird, you know what I mean?
and
Well,
we're supposed to be in a transfer window right now for the players.
yeah.
It seems like a transfer window for the coaches.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my.
It's
Well,
wild times in international
well
football.
times, yeah. Well, we're going to debut a new sub in near the tail end of the show if we have something to talk about. It's called Sorry, Not Sorry.
I've got a lot of problems with you people, and you're gonna hear about it.
Yes, brother. This was born for our airing the grievances we did on Christmas. You know what I mean? So we're going to bout off of something that happened, and I have teased this on segment one. Oh, brother. Like I said, I was ready for the game against Columbus Eagles. I was hoping to see it live on a free stream on YouTube or something like that. I saw the poster DCFC posted, like this one here. And we were all excited. I was all excited. And then when you look close, it said pay stream. Huh? Pay stream? What the hell? You know what I mean? So, to my surprise, they were going to do a pay-per-view stream. I thought, okay, $4, $5, $4 to $6, that would be okay. I would pay for it. Then when I went to their website, eagleslive.tv, $15. Huh? 15 freaking bucks? Are you freaking kidding me? We're all in tight budgets, and you're asked us for $15 to see a live stream? Like, come on. Come on. Like, honestly, I would like to see our games for free. You know what I mean? We're in a tight budget, everybody like that. But 15 freaking bucks for a club that is held in a soccer complex in Columbus? Like, huh? Gouging as worse. Literally.
Are they the Columbus Crew?
No.
Then why in the hell are you charging $15 to watch a match, watch a individual match itself on premises, and then charging another $15 to watch the game because you can't be there.
Yeah, I
And then
can't
you have
be
a
there.
season pass of $99 to watch all the games.
I know. It's frustrating. You know what I mean? And I just
You
want to
have to
see
be
the
a diehard loyal supporter to do that shit.
I know. I will admit I'm a diehard fan of Detroit City FC.
I'm
But
talking
I would
about for them.
yeah.
I
But
mean,
big question, why didn't they do a free stream? Hey, we put all our games for free over the internet if you can't get into the clubhouse, which is all
greed,
every time.
greed. That's what this
Oh,
world
brother.
makes. And remember where they're from.
Columbus,
Yeah.
Fork,
Enough
Ohio.
said. Enough said
Enough
right
said.
there. Enough said
I
right
know.
there.
Yeah, you're right. Well, listen. At least we eliminated Ohio State in football.
Shout out Miami. Oh my God. Who do you got in the game on Monday?
I'm going to say Indiana. And here's
I
the
kind of
weird
hope
part.
Indiana wins too. I really do.
But here's the weird part. Considering this college football season started with the last show ever with Lee Colto at Ohio State, last college game day, his last job, coaching job before TV, Indiana. Would it be weird if they win the title?
Would it be weird if he actually showed up on the game day stage the day of the national championship game?
That's going to be weird. Okay, that's my complaint about charging people to watch something for free or not being there and all that.
I mean,
Cat,
like I said, I can understand that. I mean, if you're offering, say like, okay, this game's worth $2 or $3, but $15, I mean, come
too
on.
much.
You have to be
Too
a
much.
die hard loyal to pay that, and especially in this economy when people are trying to make ends meet, that's just a slap in the face. I
Slap in the
totally
face.
agree
I
with you
agree.
on that.
I agree with you. Yeah,
And
you're
and
right.
shout out to those that went down there on Saturday or actually went and forked out the $15 for the pay-per-view, and provided coverage on the Discord and all that stuff. Us, I mean, I think we both had to rely on the MASL-W website for the
I did
coverage.
rely on
And
the
another
MHS.
shout out to Roger for that highlight though of Hannah Crumb's
Yeah, I
play.
had to rely on the MASW website while watching roller derby. Yeah.
So
Well, that's my complaint. What is your complaint? Sorry, not sorry.
I hate to say it,
Okay.
but in light of incidents that occurred last week, and of course, basically occurred while we were recording last week. I don't think the U.S. should be hosting the World Cup. I really don't. And the reason being is, how are you going to provide safety to hundreds of thousands of fans traveling from other countries to venues in the United States? Especially when you have ICE raiders going around shooting people, killing people, grabbing people from, all walks of life that are, whether or not they're citizens or not. There's a high, like I said, this is likening to what went on in Germany back in 1936.
A horrible history.
And for those that are coming over, especially those four nations that don't have, shall we say, diplomatic good status with the United States right now, that are in the four nations that are, that are going to potentially be a part of this tournament, their fans can't come in here. It'd be an issue for some of maybe the team. I wouldn't say an issue for the teams or the national teams, but the fans that are coming here. It's just the fact that we're not a safe place right now.
No.
And after after especially with all the rhetoric that's going on. I grant you the last two World Cups were held in countries, let's just say, just as questionable as the U.S. right now,
Yeah.
as the U.S. is right now. Obviously,
Russia and Qatar. Yes. I
yes,
remember that.
both
Yeah.
those countries, you know, both of those countries, the U.S. was awarded this right around the same time Russia and Qatar were held, and grant you, yes, that was back when Sepp Blatter was the president the president of FIFA, and of course that was before the big scandal and all that stuff. But the thing is here, you got 16,000 people that have canceled their ticket requests. They
Because they
refuse to
don't
come
feel
to this
safe.
country.
They don't feel safe.
No. Would
No.
I want to, and I'm surprised, people would feel, you had you got the controversies and obviously the controversies in Russia about feeling safe over there, with Putin in charge. You had obviously some issues in Qatar, I mean, certain communities, didn't feel safe over there as far as their,
You're right.
as far,
And don't forget the prep work to build all those data that led to almost 1,000 deaths, literally.
exactly. And they just,
Right.
Infantino just brush it aside, brush it aside, brush it aside. Right now, Infantino, the thing is, the sad thing I feel is, as far as this goes, is I don't think they're going to do it. I think they should do it. I mean, it's like add a couple venues to Canada, add a couple more venues to Mexico, whatever it is. Get Montreal involved, get Vancouver, or Vancouver's already involved. Get Edmonton involved, get Winnipeg involved. Get a couple other sites down in Mexico involved.
Yeah.
I mean, Mexico was basically a wasn't that an the one in '86? Wasn't that an offshoot?
Mexico 86. Yes, I remember that, but they had only 24 countries back
But
then.
like I said, wasn't that an offshoot of somebody else having the World Cup, but they couldn't have it?
I don't think so. I think they awarded it to Mexico back in 1986. And if you remember the movie Once in a Lifetime, remember the version 1 version of NASL, they were bidding for the same 86 World Cup, hoping to rejuvenate that league, which has been, to be honest, foundering. And I remember one of them saying that would be ridiculous to award Mexico the World Cup, considering, and then all of a sudden they went to the World Cup. Mexico went to got the World Cup, and the version 1 unplugged, literally.
Yeah. But like I said, I mean, this is more serious times, and like I was mentioning earlier, likening it to 1936 Berlin. I don't want the same thing to happen. I don't want
Me
the same
too.
thing. I don't want it to make it the. I don't want it to be like the all about me World Cup, or
Yeah.
which it might be, which is. I mean, you saw it unfold during the draw.
Yeah. I saw that, and everybody was disgusted. Literally, it was all about
And
Trump,
in
and
light of what is going on, we are not a safe place right now.
no, and so much for that freaking phony prize, which was the Priest Prize. It was just honestly,
And another reason, there's another reason. The arresting of the Venezuelan president.
oh yeah, that
Maduro.
happened a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The I don't the capture of him.
Maduro.
The
Maduro.
Greenland stuff is rearing its ugly head again.
Oh, brother.
We must protect Greenland from Russia and China. BS.
Bullshit. Excuse my language. Bullshit.
This is the same stuff that's went on in 1930s Germany. It's happening again, and they allowed the Olympics to go on.
Oh my.
We don't have a savior like Jesse Owens
No.
to spit in the face of a horrific leader.
I know.
or clap back at him. I wouldn't say spit in the face. Clap back at a horrific world leader. We
Yeah.
don't have that luxury this time around.
Unfortunately, no. And incidentally, it was kind of sobering because, like I said, before we went on, this was breaking news, and we read that. And I saw the tape volume up because we were doing a soccer show, and it was just like, oh my. It's very kind of sobering that, unfortunately, we don't feel safe right now. Everybody's going after everybody, including,
Innocent
it's just
people.
innocent people who just trying to mind their own business and all that, and just then, oh, brother, and
Yeah, and this is not a safe environment. This is really not
yeah,
a safe environment.
I
I
was
mean,
thinking,
host the games in Canada, host the games in Mexico. Take everything, have the final in Toronto for God's sakes. Don't have it
I
at Giant
know,
Stadium. I don't care if you're missing like 40,000, another 20,000 fans or whatever it is. Have it at BC Place. You get 50, 60,000 over there.
yeah, I know,
You know,
yeah,
I don't know if Olympic Stadium would be ready for it because they had also. Oh yeah, but the thing is, have the final down in frickin' Azteca.
yeah, the biggest stadium in all Mexico.
Yeah, one of the biggest stadiums in the world.
I know.
My thing is, get it out of the United States. We're not mentally ready. We're not, shall we say, peacefully ready for it. We're not mentally ready for it. I mean, we've been mentally ready for it, but now you throw this political bullshit going on here. I mean, yeah, World Cups have overcome this stuff. This is beyond that. This is like borderline pre-World War II.
Oh, brother, I
Yeah.
know. It's
And remember
depressing.
what happened after the 1940 World Cup? We didn't have a World Cup until 1950.
Wow, because of World War One, right?
Yeah. And I think the 1940 World Cup, I think Italy won it.
Yeah,
I want to say that.
yeah.
And
By the way, I have to mention one thing because I remember about 10 years ago when ESPN still had a magazine, by the way, there was a great story of the 1978 World Cup, which was held in Argentina. Now, Argentina won that World Cup, but was done under a dark cloud.
yeah.
And if you can find that online, read it. It's a really good article.
Yeah. I just don't want this World Cup to be. It's supposed to be the another stepping stone in soccer for this country, but under a dark shadow of what's been going on in this country over the past year and currently, I don't have a good conscience of having it here.
I know.
So,
I know.
but
Well,
on a
sorry we
lighter
have to
note,
end
we
it
will be
on
back next
downer.
week. Yeah, on a lighter note, we will be back next week with more of the musings, obviously, because we have no other
We don't
soccer
have
going
soccer
on.
until we don't have soccer until February 7th, so the soccer world will still come around. I got my notes. I'll write my notes that we're building on doing weekly communicating via text, and
Yes,
but
exactly.
once I get a computer, I will be happy to do the show with something to read instead of relying off a cell phone.
Yeah, and I'll still be doing it on the iPad. So,
Okay.
alrighty though. For Steve out in Hamtramck, have a good week. We'll talk to you next week.
Be good, everybody, and I'll see you next week.
All right. Keep your feet in the ground. Keep reaching for the galaxy, and be good.